open up a Q&A for a few minutes. We have a few mic runners around the room. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, fire away.
Oh, yeah.
Hi there.
Hey.
You know, what we do with supply chain management with the suppliers and the utilities, it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of collaboration to be successful. Tell us how important collaboration is to what you do.
Vital.
Well, since Brett and I collaborate on almost everything for the last 30 years, I'll say this about our jobs in particular. Everyone up here is capable of writing song by themselves, but we would write the same song over and over and over. We collaborate, and 1 + 1 = 10 in our business. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's not, we could do something ourselves. We couldn't do nearly the volume at nearly the creativity without each other. So all of these people, we've all written with each other, and hundreds probably of other songwriters over our careers to get to that special moment, to get to that place of magic. So collaboration, honestly, for us is everything. We could do something, but it would be way smaller and way less impactful, probably.
Yeah, I still write songs to this day by myself because I enjoy doing it. But even after writing it, there's still collaboration going on. Okay, so I end up hiring musicians to help me record it. Because even though I could play most of the stuff, there are just people that play better than I do, right? Because you're looking to take your, I guess, weaknesses, the things you don't do perfectly, right? And you're looking for people that can constantly. It's just a never-ending search for people that are better than you are at something. And there's, to survive as a songwriter in the music business and actually making a living at it, we have our publishers, right? We need our artists. We need our record labels. We need our publicists. We need, there's a never-ending stream of people that we need in order to do what we do. And then at some point in the chain, we need fans to actually give a crap about these songs and care enough to want to hear them and pay money to go to shows and listen to them over and over on their streaming services and back when we were buying records. So honestly, I don't even know. There is the collaboration that actually happens in the room, but there's a whole bunch of collaboration that happens even if we're not in direct contact with those people that allow us to do what we do. And without them, we'd be lost.
I can put a little bit of this in a food reference because we're in Nashville and we're country songwriters. Chocolate's great, and it's created a lot of business, and so has peanut butter. But you put it together and you got Reese's Cups. And then you got Ozempic. Go ahead. See how much business that created? I mean, that's a lot.
What else you got? Oh, come on. It's a room full of people, and it's, yep.
Caitlyn and Josh, you both had examples of failure that became a success. And obviously, you write thousands of songs. How do you take that rejection and then turn it into positive energy and keep moving forward?
It's a great question.
Great question.
Okay, so let's repeat it for anybody that didn't hear that. He's asking, because we write so many songs, and because most of them you'll never hear, how do we deal with rejection?
You write about it?
Yeah. I used to think that you had to develop a thicker skin. The problem with a thicker skin is you don't feel as much.
Yeah.
And in our business in particular, and I would argue that in most of them, feeling is good. And so what you end up having to do is learn how to process the failure and just understand that if there's somewhere you want to get to, the fastest way there is failure, right? Because what you're looking for is a yes, then every no doesn't keep you from getting to a yes. It just means you're one closer.
Yeah. Well, the common denominator of a successful person, you look at anybody that you admire that's had success, right? I mean, they've all had failure, right? But the common denominator is they all just kept going, and they didn't give up until they actually achieved it, right?
The greatest successes I know are the greatest failures that I know, if that makes sense. So.
That's really heady for this time of the morning. good. It's good.
Yeah, because you got to be able to get through. I mean, Babe Ruth, right? Struck out more times than anybody else. And when he retired, he'd hit more home runs than anybody else. It's just the way it is. You got to be willing to go down swinging.
And also not being precious with the songs. I think about like the batting average of a songwriter and writing thousands and thousands of songs. And if you consider not getting it recorded as a failure, I don't know. I don't know. My point is,
As a perspective on that, we've probably written about 3,000 songs. About 300 of them have been recorded, and about 30 of them actually made money.
Right.
So it's,
Yes.
it's a lot of, we get a lot of rejection.
lot
We're
of
really
rejection.
good at it. So
Yeah.
boo us, throw shit, we don't care.
Yeah.
We're tough.
Yeah. Just holding it lightly too.
Sir, right there, you got the mic?
Yeah, couple of comments to start with. First of all, the stories and the background are incredible. Thank you for that. I've been to a lot of these conferences, and you guys are the very best we've ever had as a keynote speaker. And just a little context on that. You know, we had Admiral McRaven who headed the mission of SEAL Team 6 to take out Osama bin Laden. And I'm from Butte, Montana, and Rob O'Neill's the kid who went to Butte High and grade school and was the SEAL Team guy who was the one who took him out. So anyways, you guys are up there. You should take it on the road. The beautiful context that you guys put to that is great. My question is, obviously there's a lot of passion and emotion that you bring, that you help these, these artists put out there. Where does all that come from?
All the passion.
There's a lot of pain in these eyes.
You know, it's going back to what Josh and Caitlyn said about failure. When we first moved to town in 1995, and everybody's different in this area, but about failure is just a big part of it. I tell my kids that all the time, that failure is a part of success. And I think we're in a world where everybody looks at everybody else's highlight reel. And I think writers get enough rejection early that we just sort of use it to build upon. There was a publisher that told me and Brad, you're going to be great artists, you're terrible songwriters, you're never going to have any success as a songwriter. And to most people, that might have made them turn around and go home. To me and Brad, we were like, okay, we're going to spend the next 20 years ramming that up his nose. So you use the rejection to, like Caitlyn said, you write about it, or you turn it to something else. But there's the passion of creating something that didn't exist that morning. And as Josh said, he wrote a song that he thought was going to be a hit and one he didn't even care about. He didn't know that he was getting ready to change a lot of people's lives, the players, the musicians, the band, the publishers, himself, with a song. And I think for us, specific to what we do for a living, to hear somebody that's a big artist or a famous singer or somebody that's just a phenomenal singer sing a melody or a lyric that you've written, it definitely loads up your backpack to deal with a lot more failure.
In terms of passion itself directly, I don't know at what age you guys started writing songs. I started writing songs at 13. 11. Yeah, right, 11. Like 8. Okay, there you go. So we started all kind of doing this really young. And we weren't thinking about it, right? It wasn't like you sat down in your room and you went, I'm going to write blah, 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 and be rich and famous or any of that kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't that. It was just like you had emotions you didn't know how to process any other way, or at least it was for me. Like, I couldn't even play. The only instrument I could play at the age I started writing songs was trumpet. It's really hard to sing and play trumpet at the same time.
I want to see you try it, though, next one. We do this.
So essentially, at that stage of life, I had a tape recorder, and I was just writing words after word after word after word after word. I was filling up page after page after page, 5-6 minute songs with no real melody. God bless my parents for sitting through most of this. But it was all passion. And the trick is, for sure, to try to figure out how to hold on to being that same 13-year-old kid through the rest of your life, so that like the excitement and the caring that you were putting into it when it didn't matter to anyone else in the world still stays exactly the same. And that is a learned process. In all honesty, when people say, I hate people say that, because this is very honest. You don't all the time. You do lose it. I've lost it more than once. I remember at one point taking a month off of songwriting and doing nothing but reading books about writing because I needed to hear somebody else be passionate about what I did so that I could fall back in love with it because I was drained. That just is part of the process. I think there's nothing wrong with falling out of love with what you do as long as you take the time and the care to fall back into love with it.
Yeah. Mic drop.
So.
Josh Kear. So good. That's so
Josh
good.
Kear. We have obviously learned a lot on our long, slow climb to the middle. So thank you for experiencing this with us.
We have one more?
It better be a good one.
It's good. It's good for me anyway. I absolutely enjoyed this today, and I'm sure everybody else did too. I know we have an agenda, but I could have listened to this all day long. I promise you it was wonderful. And the thing that you were just talking about, passion and the creativity that comes from the minds of creating something from nothing, was essentially what you do when you write songs. It's amazing to witness that. But my question to you guys is, I have a question and a comment. How concerned are you about AI replacing you? I hate AI personally. I'm probably the only one in this room, but I hate it because I think it takes away human creativity. And I'm wondering, from a songwriter's perspective, how do you feel about AI?
AI, as a creator, I don't know. Maybe I am naive about the whole thing, but instead of fearing it, I have chosen to now use it as a tool. I use it in the writing room when I'm like, hey, give me a random idea of like, are there any random like high mountain, what are the coolest names of the mountains in the world? Like, and trying to like just do an obscure search. I'll use it in the room. I've tried to use it to like, just for fun, like write me a verse, and it's always horrible. I mean, eventually it will catch up. I do think that there's something about the nuance of the human experience that humans can dig into that I don't know if AI will be able to, but that's just me.
Creatively, it's strange, and it is pretty. I've heard a lot of AI music that is good. I've never heard it do anything great.
Yeah.
So AI is a concern. AI is getting better all the time. Like the songs that it was writing, because we're trying to keep up and know what the technology is doing, obviously, for many reasons. I sat on a board of an organization here in town called Nashville Songwriter Association International. We are paying very close attention to it. I think the things that have to happen now with AI, and this is going to be vital for all of us. I don't care what field you're in, or if you're not in any field, if you're just outstanding in some cornfield, I don't care. It's going to be really important that the legislation that handles the way we handle AI over the next few years, that sets the course for how we handle this technology for the rest of its existence, and it is going to probably dominate society over the next period. I think the computer age come and gone, right? I think we're about to enter the AI age for sure. And it's going to be incredibly important, the guardrails that we put on this thing. And for us in particular, and for creative people, it might not affect us that much, but it will definitely affect the next generations of songwriters that are coming along. We're old enough that, like most of our career, if we're realistic about it, I'm in for 30 years already. If I have another 20 left, it's still not half my career. So I'm quite fortunate in that regard. But we're going to have to make sure that the legislation states that if it's not created by a human being, it doesn't get copyright protection.
Correct.
Right? So there's no generated value, because otherwise AI will just flood the market, and you won't even get a chance to hear the stuff we're writing, because it can write 100 songs in a minute, right? So it can create content so fast that even if it's not superior to what a human being is doing, you just still won't be able to find it. So that, some of those things, for sure. But I am somewhat naive along with what Caitlyn was saying, in that AI can steal from Paul McCartney. AI can learn from Paul McCartney. AI can't be the genius of Paul McCartney. And I happen to believe that will continue to be the case always.
Yeah, I was going to say the human spirit, and I believe this to be the case. And as Josh said, I'm on a couple boards and we're studying this type of thing, that a human being always wants to hear a real story from a real human experience. And as long as the legislation separates this was not a human and this is, we'll be fine. But that is more the issue than anything else.
All right. Thank you again. Yep.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We're going to take